Check out this beauty. 85 Honda XR350R.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Napoleon, like anyone can even know that.
Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Today I'm going to just do a quick video here going over this recent purchase of mine. It is a 1985 Honda XR350R, and I bought this from the original owner who bought it brand new here in San Diego in 1985. So let's take a quick look at this bike. Well, this popped up on one of the local classifieds. I can't remember if it was OfferUp or whatever it might have been. But I saw it, was a little bit intrigued by it. And then the more I thought about it, the more I said, you know what? This is almost a 40-year-old bike, one owner. I got to take a shot at it. So it was advertised as not running, but the owner was pretty straight up about it. He said that he had parked it, drained the gas, drained the carburetor, and it was running just fine. You know, obviously over his time of ownership, he'd done a lot of maintenance on it, and he said that he has gone through the engine at one point. I can't remember exactly what he told me, but I've still have his number. I'm sure if I need any information, I could find out. And about in the early 2000s or so, he did get it street legal, which you could do at that time. There was a cutoff in California where you couldn't convert dirt bikes, so this was not initially a street legal motorcycle, but he did get that done, so it is street legal. So that's really nice, but it's pretty original. Almost everything on here, you know, there's some changes. This isn't the stock seat cover, not the stock handlebars, and these aren't stock. This headlight definitely isn't stock. And it has this little homemade-ish kind of dual sport kit, or maybe this is an old school dual sport kit, I don't know. There's your turn signals. And high-low beam and horn. This is stock. Unfortunately, that's cracked a little bit right there. But, this little Enduro computer is really cool. And I bought it. I was thinking I was going to do a, you know, one of my classic Tom's Tinkering and Adventures videos of Will It Run? But I picked this thing up. Literally, here's what I did to it. I put gas in that tank. I turned the fuel petcock valve on, and I kicked it about 8, 9, 10 times, and it started. So a Will It Run video was kind of out of the cards there, because hey, it's an old Honda. Not saying old Hondas don't break, but you know, for the most part, these things are well known for their reliability. So I did do a valve adjustment on it, and I didn't make a video on that because it's almost exactly the same as an XR400, old air-cooled single, very simple. Pop these caps off and do that. And I did do a carburetor clean, which I also didn't do a video on because it's so straightforward and simple. I cracked the garage open. Let's see if this thing can make a fool out of me or not. I'm going to give a demonstration of starting it. I had this thing down to starting like 1 or 2 kicks, so I think we can probably do it. Let's see. And on a warmer day, I don't even use the choke. So I'm going to go half choke. It's not terribly cool here. It's San Diego, so. Well, it almost started there. What was that, about 4 kicks? We're going to go no choke. I was on half choke. Not too bad, I don't think. We got headlight, tail light, and we got a brake light. Let's check it. Brake light. All the lights work. We did have one turn signal that was failing when I got it. Dunlop D606 on the back, and the date code on that thing was 2002. So I think that that was installed when the dual sport kit was installed, and the knobbies were still pretty darn good on it, but it was hard as heck and cracked. A friend of mine had this Kenda laying around that he had used a little bit, so he gave that to me because I wasn't sure about the condition of the bike. You know, I didn't want to really invest in a fancy tire. Not like they're terribly expensive, but anyway, I threw that thing on there, and you can see there's some dirt on this bike. I have already off-roaded this thing. I will post some pictures up of this thing out in its element, but I don't know. I wasn't really in the market for another 4-stroke dual sport of this size. I got rid of my Husky 450, but this thing is just so cool. Every time I take it out, people are giving me thumbs up. So let me get over here and I'll show you what the plans are with this bike. So as you can see, the plastics are in good shape. Tank's got some fading here. And the closer I get, the more you can see it. And of course the decals are 40 years old. So what I'd like to do is try to clean this tank up a little bit, clean the side panels up a bit. These are painted on here, not my favorite thing, so I don't know about getting that off. But I did buy some reproduction stickers. So for there, and for there, and of course the side panels. Let's see, where's this one at? Let's see, that one? Unfortunately, I don't have the stock headlight, which I'm keeping my eye out for one. I would really like to have the stock headlight. This one's got the turn signals integrated and a high-low beam, which is cool. But what I'd like to do, get a stock headlight, and then I'll keep my eye out for a actual switch gear for this side, like an old Honda one from this era, 80s. And then rewire all this over here. I like to keep the lights simple, but I don't want to do a full like restoration on this thing. I don't want to strip it down all the way, get everything sandblasted and powder coated and none of that. I got this Color Right Flash Red, which is this early to mid 80s kind of orangish red, which I really like the look of that. So probably what I'm going to do is just do a quick garage, rattle can restoration, because this thing is still going to be a rider. It's not going to sit in the garage. When I took this thing out locally, it performed really well. Unfortunately, I had one issue. I was taking it through some rocks and I stalled it, and I kicked and kicked and kicked and kicked and kicked, and then had to take a break, and I kicked some more. And then it finally started. I thought maybe something had happened, but I just stalled in the rocks, and this thing had been starting with one kick all day. So I don't know if I need to do a little bit more tuning, or if that's just the nature of these beasts. So if anyone has owned one of these things and has any tips or tricks, let me know. But I will give you some updates on this thing as we go along. I also would like to do something with these foot pegs. They are very narrow, not anything like modern-ish foot pegs. Yeah, look at the size of that. So I don't think there's any foot pegs out there, but maybe we're gonna have to make our own. Anyway, what a cool old beast, and to be able to be the second owner of this thing in almost 40 years. I feel very blessed. All right, so there she is. 1985 Honda XR350R. All right, if you're a fan of old Hondas and you want to see this thing get cleaned up a little bit and ridden the way that an old Honda should be, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider doing so to see some more vintage Honda action. All right, thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.